Hello, I am Katarina Barley. I'm the Vice President of the European Parliament, and PS Women nominated me as PS Executive Vice President. How can we boost women's participation in transnational politics? That is a very important question. And let me be clear, women represent more than 50% of the population, so they should hold at least 50% of the power in politics and in the economy. Unfortunately, we are not yet there. After the 2024 European elections, only 39% of all members of European Parliament are women, 61% are men. Only 4 member states elected equally women and men, or even more women than men. 23 member states elected less women than men. And there's even one member state that has only male members in this European Parliament. At the same time, we got better. Since 1979, we saw an increase after every election. Remember, in 1979, there were only 16% women in the European Parliament. Only this year, we didn't see this increase anymore. We went down 1 percentage point. The last commission was the first gender-based commission ever. This was our demand and our success as a political family. In contrast, only 33% of senior ministers in member state governments are women. Unfortunately, the new commission fell back into not having an equal number of female and male commissioners. Only 41% are women. In short, some things got better when it comes to women's role in transnational politics, some have not. Of course, women were also engaged politically in this European Union. We held a conference on the future of Europe, and women from all over Europe engaged in a transnational discussion on our future. The European Parliament also called for structural change. We proposed to change the European electoral law in a way that requires full gender equality. We demand that all member states use zipped lists or quotas. In addition, we call for transnational lists, which of course would also have to be zipped. Such transnational lists would for the first time create female and male members of the European Parliament that are truly transnational politicians elected by all Europeans. And we saw what we can achieve for women in transnational politics when we stand united. We enacted major measures to protect women from hate and violence with the directive on combating violence against women. And we strengthened women in the economy, most importantly with the Pay Transparency Directive to end the gender pay gap and the Women on Board Directive to put more women in top positions. As a political party, we focused our 2024 campaign on women's rights and women's participation. The My Voice, My Choice campaign was aimed at mobilizing voters for safe and free abortions. The PS Women Election Toolkit provided great input for national parties and their campaigns. The S&D Group adopted the Women's Rights Charter that became a central piece of the PS Women campaign. Its translation into 16 languages made it widely accessible. PS Women successfully pushed for a more women-inclusive PS campaign. However, we still see that at the big events, women were not present enough, gender mainstreaming did not happen on all occasions, and we learned it does not happen just by itself. So much remains to be done in the years to come. For the new mandate, we will be fighting hard for women's participation and women's rights. We face a far-right shift in the European Parliament and in the European Commission. The Commission fell back into not having an equal number of female and male commissioners. And Ursula von der Leyen herself decided that there will not be a dedicated commissioner for equality anymore. So as for now, Helena Dalli will have been the first and last of her kind. In the new mandate, we will continue to fight for women's rights, which will be even more important. We already saw that the EPP, together with the extreme right, tries to walk back women's rights. As an example, there were threats to get rid of the FEMM committee altogether. We fought hard to keep it. Even worse, Ursula von der Leyen wanted to put the Hungarian Commissioner Oliver Várhelyi, a Fidesz politician, in charge of sexual and reproductive health and rights. We again fought hard to change that absurdity, and we will be fighting for yes means yes in criminal law, safe and legal access to abortion care, equal pay, a care deal, making gender-based violence, including sexist hate speech, an EU crime, and making gender budgeting a priority, particularly for the next MFF. All of this will be central to the new gender equality strategy as promised in the mission letter to Haji Al Habib. We will put strong emphasis on addressing discrimination in health, education, housing, social protection, and in the supply of goods and services, and everywhere else, the economic empowerment of women and the participation of women in politics. Looking ahead to the 2029 campaign, I see some major points we should work on. We have to deliver for the women in the EU to have something to show and to campaign on. We have to make clear where the other parties stand and what they stand for, in particularly EPP and the extreme right. As a party, we should have a dedicated women campaign with PS women in the driver's seat. Finally, we have to become even better at achieving gender equality ourselves. We should have a debate on a double ticket for the Spitzenkandidat. We should engage our member parties to have zipped lists and quotas for candidates. Moreover, we can look at the Euro Party itself and ensure that our leadership is fully representing our gender equality goals. Strong PS women will be an integral part of this. As a progressive political family, gender equality and the rights of women are part of our DNA. For the 2029 elections, we will have to make sure that voters are well aware of this and vote for us to protect and strengthen women's rights. We got far, but much remains to be done. Let's do it.